Well, it's real big. We're still, trying to get our energy and strength back because, the first couple of days you're here, if you have kids and family, they want you to get up early because they haven't seen you in a while. So we're still trying to, get our sleep pattern back. But the guys, that's why we didn't hit today on the field, try to have them save every, bit of energy that they have. And, boy, it was, this was Murphy Day versus his old team, Murphy and Serger. And it was a big day for both. You never know which runs are going to be the insurance runs, and that last 2-run homer was huge, and they were operating on a skinny because their bullpen, was probably more worn out than ours, and we mustered up just enough, energy. I mean, thank God for Serger. I mean, he was ready, and he was ready from the first pitch. He had his control, he had his breaking ball going, and, when we took him out in the 8th, he was kind of going batter to batter because, we knew we thought from talking to him that he had enough to start the inning but not enough to finish the inning. And then we were trying to, mix and match a fraction per without going through our whole bullpen in case something happened. They tie it up, and then we're out of pitching. So, boy, that was a great job, by our bullpen. The guys, have really come together, and, in Pap's absence, everybody's important.
What do you think it means to Murphy to do this to his former team, against his former team?
Well, I've been in that same situation. I mean, your former team, they know you. You're very familiar with each other. How they're, the patterns that they, will throw a sequence of pitches. You also know the catcher, how, what he calls in certain situations. So, he's very familiar with with the Mets. And, he has no ill feelings against the Mets, but he certainly wants to beat them.
Murphy tied his career high today with 14 homers in the season. This won the 79th game.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say about the power surge that he's kind of unlocked?
Well, he's learned how to hit the ball at the ballpark, which is indicative of how he was hitting the ball at the ballpark in the playoffs. And like I've always said, I'll take an opposite field hitter and teach him in time, or he'll learn in time how to pull the ball and how to hit the ball at the ballpark and sit on pitches and look for pitches, versus trying to take a pull hitter to teach him how to go the other way. I mean, Murphy's bread and butter is up the middle and the other way. I mean, he can do that almost anytime he gets ready because that was his stroke for so many years. And so, he's learned how to hit the ball at the ballpark, and he's learned how to use his legs, because he uses his legs as a hitter probably better than anybody in this league. And so, it's about learning, and then once you learn your formula on what to do, then, it gets easier and easier and easier up to a point, when you get too old, and he's certainly not too old.
Is he having an MVP type of season?
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. I mean, this guy, MVP is what, how much you mean to your team. And, he was a welcome addition, in more ways than one. I don't know if we knew what we were getting. And, he just goes about his business. He studies hard. He works hard. He's a motivator of his teammates. And, he's great to have on the team.
How do you assess the season Scherzer's had overall? I mean, there have been ups and downs, but
Mm-hmm.
halfway through, what do you think?
Well, I mean, he's what, 9-5, and and he's lost a couple along the way. I mean, I think he's an AllStar, personally, not because he's on my team, which helps, but this guy, I mean, he could easily win 20. And, so don't count him out. I mean, this guy, he wanted it tonight badly. And, I think he wanted to make an impression on the league and also on the AllStar manager that's over there.
Obviously, Murphy's been very good against the Mets.
Mhm.
So is Scherzer this year and dating back to last year.
Mhm.
What's it like to see players like that, some of your best players, step up in these games that mean so much?
Well, it means everything. I just, you want them to step up against everybody, but especially in your rivals. Guys that you're chasing, or guys that are chasing you. This was big. They could have went out of here tied for first place too. But instead they went out 6 out. Every game's a 2-game game when you're playing the team that's chasing you or you're chasing them. Yes, Bob.
You were talking about Murphy's legs. The second home run, he only had one hand on the bat
Right,
practically.
right.
And the first one, he collapsed his front arm and
Right.
had no strength in his upper body. Are those examples of it?
Yeah, those examples. I've been teaching Lobaton and other guys about, using your legs, because this is how most of the great hitters I've seen and studied, everybody talks about how strong they are and this and that is, it's hips, legs and hands. You can almost throw the ball out of the park with those 3 entities if they're in sync.
The other thing about sweeps, do they tend to have an emotional impact on seasons? We saw it flip last year in August and September. The Mets swept the Nationals, and it totally changed the season.
Well, it's too early to change the season yet, but we'll take it at the halfway point almost, and we're hoping to increase it. So we've been swept too a few times, and I tell our guys whenever we get swept, let's come back with the reverse sweep, if there is such a thing.
Talking about increasing the lead, you were kind of in this same spot 10 days ago. You kind of tread water. Now you're back to where you were 10 days ago almost.
Right.
But now you're at home. You've got 2 teams coming in that have struggled on the road, and you're just about to get some strength back, Strauss, Papelbon.
Right.
It seems like one of those situations where you could really step on some throats. How do you go about keeping your guys sort of focused and motivated there?
Well, that's no problem, keeping them motivated. These guys, you can motivate, but motivation comes from within. All you can do is stimulate that motivation. And, you just can't overlook anybody. The Reds, they almost swept us up in Cincinnati, and Milwaukee almost swept us in Milwaukee. So you certainly can't overlook anybody because anytime they get a good pitch game, and you look at the Reds, they're scoring a lot of runs, but they're also giving up more runs than they're scoring. So our job is to keep scoring on our side and prevent them from scoring.